Hello, my name is Anna Zimin, and I'll be presenting to you my persuasive speech. I'll be persuading you to apply a ban on phone use during school hours. Imagine a classroom where half the students are secretly texting, scrolling on TikTok, and playing video games instead of listening to the lesson. Tell me, would you call this a healthy learning environment or a distraction zone? Because I've experienced firsthand how phones distracted me from learning. I know how big this issue really is. I understand both the temptation and the harm of how my phone prevented me from focusing and socializing. Because I've seen and experienced this issue personally, I can speak honestly about how damaging phones can be in schools. This matters to everyone. This matters to parents, to teachers, administrators, and students as well, because the future depends on whether students can focus, learn, and develop healthy habits. Currently, many schools allow phones in the classroom, leaving it up to individual teachers to manage the problem. Some schools have tried partial bans, and sometimes they require them to be kept in backpacks or desks. These schools unknowingly leave opportunity for students to be distracted by their phones. And that is why I feel schools should ban the use of personal phones during school hours for three reasons. To Because doing so will reduce cheating, it will improve a student's focus, and it will encourage healthier social interaction. First off, banning phones will decrease cheating in classes. Cheating in schools has only become more common as smarter phones became the standard. It became so easy, in fact, that all it takes is a click of a button. Students no longer find the need to study for tests or understand the assignment because they want their phones to do it for them. Studies show that phones make it more likely and easier to look up answers or send other students the answers to tests. Therefore, banning phones removes one of the greatest tools for cheating. This forces students to actually study for their tests since they have to rely on their own knowledge, and it promotes academic integrity. Imagine how much fairer testing would be if no student had an unfair advantage through secret access to Google or group chats. Students would be smarter and testing would be honest. Now that we saw how phones in schools can encourage cheating, now let's look at how it constantly distracts them from learning. Secondly, this will increase a student's focus in class. Phones are also one of the biggest and most common distractions in classrooms, with constant notifications, texts, and social media updates. With a student constantly distracted, they become unable to keep up with both their assignments and social media, which can lead to failing grades. This shows that with the ban of phones, we can help students focus on learning instead of the notifications on their phones. This increase in focus will benefit both teachers and students because students will become more knowledgeable and teachers will not have to compete with phones. They don't need to focus on catching students on their phones, but only on teaching. Not only are phones causing distractions, they also harm a student's social life. So, lastly, banning phones would encourage healthier social interactions between students. It is proven that the use of phones, specifically social media, during school increases anxiety and reduces face to face interactions. This blocks students from developing meaningful and lasting friendships, as well as communication skills that will be much needed for a successful and happy future. So, removing phones will encourage students to develop real social skills and meaningful, lasting friendships. All this evidence shows that phones should be banned for a student's own good, for to decrease cheating, to eliminate distractions, and to encourage a healthier social life. Now, I want you to imagine a school that is filled with socializing students, with teachers that don't have to compete with TikTok, and grades that are honest and not from a ChatGPT answer. This is why we must incorporate a ban on phones to reduce cheating, to increase focus, and encourage healthy social interaction. I want to encourage administrators, teachers, and parents to work together to restrict the use of phones during school hours. This matters to everyone because this generation of students is our future. So, together, we can make changes to better our students' academic and social lives. Thank you for listening.